Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're doing a fun tag which was created by Morgan Turner and Patty Alonso, two YouTubers here. And I've been following them for quite a while and I always love both their videos, so I figured it would be an honor to do their tag. This is the perfect makeup tag. It consists of 10 questions that are all about what is the perfect makeup item, but in a certain category, as will be clear when I read the questions. So the first question is, which primer creates the perfect base? And I've recently discovered that for me the best primer is a blurring one and a smoothing one. So I've always used the Lancôme La Base, but I'm done with that one now. I'm now using the YSL Blur Primer, and this has tiny gold particles, but they disappear when you rub out this product. So as you can see, there's a nice slip to my hand now, and this seems to be perfect for any kind of matte, little bit more thick foundation. For instance, I have to use this kind of primer when I want to use the Huda Faux Filter foundation, but I always like it with other matte foundations as well. So this is my number one primer. Which foundation has the perfect finish? This one was a little bit more difficult because I prefer two kinds of finishes. Sometimes I like the more matte finish and sometimes I like the more dewy finish. So I would almost opt to give two answers, but that seemed to be cheating. So I chose one. And the one I chose is the Guerlain L'Essentiel Haute Perfection foundation. This is the foundation that came out a couple of months ago, which was the new version of the old L'Essentiel foundation, which was very glowy. This one is has a matte finish. But it's sort of a soft matte. So it is actually matte, but it never looks dry. So this is what it looks like. You can see there's hardly any reflection, but it's not like it's lifeless skin. It does look pretty. And the coverage of this product is also perfect, but I don't think that's part of the question. It's all about the finish with this one. And I think this is the one. Alright, the third question is, which concealer gives the perfect coverage? And for me, that has to be the Pat McGrath concealer. And this one wins in almost every category for me. So for me, the perfect coverage, certainly on days when I am using the more high coverage foundation. I also want a more high coverage concealer, but without it looking very thick. So this concealer actually has a lot of coverage, but is very thin. So you can use a little bit of it and spread it out, and it's got the perfect coverage without being very cakey. So this is a 2-in-1. Which powder gives the perfect blur? For this question, I chose the Gucci setting powder. I have mine in the shade 00. And this powder is so very smooth. I'll try and show you when I apply just a little bit right here, so you can see what happens. See? Blurred out perfectly. This is a great touch-up powder as well. This formula is sort of thick, but in a good way. So it covers and blurs nicely without feeling very heavy, but it's not so light that it doesn't do anything. Okay, the next one is, which bronzer has the perfect undertone? And for this one, I actually chose the Glowish bronzer. I have mine in the shade 01 Light, and I find that most bronzers, even when they're for very fair skin, they're still very orange. And this one is sort of neutral leaning. So I like a cooler toned bronzer as well, but this one is perfectly neutral. And so this gives me the summery effect that I want without looking very orange. So this is perfect. I feel like this is going to be quite a short video. Okay, the next question is, which blush has the perfect shade? And I had to think a little bit about this one because like the foundations, I have two styles of blush that I really like. I like the more reddish tones like I'm wearing right now, or I like the very pinky cool tones. But recently I've been wearing this palette from Charlotte Tilbury and everyone's been commenting about the blush that I'm wearing. And it's actually my favorite item from this palette too. So it's this cheek product. I think I have to build it up quite a bit for it to show. It's this nice rosy terracotta apricot. It's not very easily to define what this color is, but it looks so pretty. It looks so youthful and summery and ageless. I don't know. it looks very nice. Which highlighter has the perfect finish? For this one I went to the Dior Backstage palettes, specifically the number 03 Gold. Because this does not have the perfect shades for me, because they're a little bit dark, or some of them are a lot dark, but it has the perfect finish. Especially this one. Look how nice that is. I love this one because it's sort of glittery without looking childish. And it's very smooth in its base. So this is one of my favorite highlighters ever. Question number 8. Which lipstick has the perfect formula? For this one I went to Charlotte Tilbury again and I chose her Matte Revolution formula. A close second would be actually her Kissing formula, which I also really like, but I find that it's not consistent between all the different lipsticks. The Matte Revolution lipsticks are. And a tip that I got from Mel Thompson recently is that these lipsticks are beautiful when you really layer them on. Like when they become very thick and creamy, that's when they look their best, and it's absolutely true. That's also when they feel the most comfortable. So I'll do a light swatch right here. And it's pretty. But when I do a very heavy swatch, that's when it becomes very opaque and creamy and delicious. That's when these lipsticks almost seem to shine like a velvety matte finish. I don't know, it's so perfect. Then finally we have 2 questions about eyeshadow palettes. The first one is, which palette has the perfect shimmers? And pretty much like everyone else, I had to give this one to Pat McGrath. I only have one of her palettes, the Divine Rose 1. But it has the perfect shimmer in it. This is what the palette looks like. And this is the shade I'm talking about. Look how nice that is. It's so glittery and wet looking. Just this shade alone makes this whole palette worth it for me. And then finally we have the question, which palette has the perfect color story? And this one was a little bit of a hard one for me to answer, because I, again, really like my cool tones, like my blues and also my greens. But I also like the more pinky neutral side of life. So I found that the Amrezi palette has the perfect color story for me. This is quite a recent purchase for me, but I found that it's suitable for every occasion. And I really like going all kinds of ways with this palette. I can go very dark and smoky, but still neutral. Or I can go very dark and smoky, but blue or pink. And there's even this one shade that has a little bit of green in it. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, this palette has the perfect color story for me. And that was all the questions already. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please watch the ones from Morgan and Patty as well. I'll list them down below. And please subscribe to my channel if you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.